So this blog is extra special because I've just got back from a trip to the United States of America. I managed to visit Nevada and Utah and had an amazing time over there doing events and seeing a bit of this amazing country. And yeah, I thought I would vlog about it on the way. So here we go. And I wasn't even scared of the flight. So today I am coming to you from the town of Layton, probably a city, of Layton in Utah. It is fantastic to be here. I love Utah. This is my second time in the state. I was here about 3 years ago doing a writers conference. I'm back for the same thing. The League of Utah Writers are having their convention here in Layton, and I'm doing a couple of workshops about writing, about character creation, things like that. There are some fantastic views out of my window. I can work out how the curtains work. Mountains! Oh, that's not so amazing. Mountains! And I'm hoping to explore the hills at some point during my stay. I'm also going to Vegas for this trip, which would be amazing. I've never been to Vegas, but there was a first time for everything, and that was on the bucket list, so something I really, really wanted to do. I'm actually doing a book launch in Vegas, in the Barnes & Noble in Vegas on this trip, which I shall vlog about later on. But anyway, I better go and prepare my workshops. See you in a bit. Why does the tea in America always taste like coffee? And what the hell is non-dairy creamer? I mean, seriously, non-dairy creamer. It's like as far away from milk as you could ever get. God. Is that right? Is that what you do? Is that what I'm supposed to do? Are you milk? Just like we make it in England. Or feet. Sometimes it tastes of feet. So one thing I always like to do when I'm away is check out the local bookstores, see if they've got my books, maybe sign a few. Here I am, Barnes & Noble in Layton. Let's see what they've got. No. Yay! So that was cool. It's always really funny when you go into a bookstore and you take some of your books up to the counter and you're like, I'm the author of these books, do you want me to sign them? And they kind of look at you like this. You're not the author, you're a crazy person. So it's quite good in America because all of my books have my photo on, so I just say I do have proof. And even then sometimes they're a bit like, I'm not sure about this, I'll just call my manager. But anyway, that is cool. So if anyone's looking for signed books, there are a few in the Layton Barnes & Noble. So I'm just off to run my first workshop, which is called Writing at the Speed of Life. Wish me luck. Hi everyone, it's fantastic to be here today. My name is Alexander Gordon-Smith. That's the name on all of my books. Please, though, don't call me Alex, call me Gordon. The reason for that is that my parents wanted to call me Gordon Alexander Smith, but they knew that if they did that, my initials would spell gas. And then they thought, we can't do that because then his nickname will be, in school might be Gassy Gordon. And, they thought, well, that's just cruel. So in order to spare me that, they switched my first two names around and called me Alexander Gordon Smith, but gave me Gordon as my name. Really annoying us, so I have to introduce myself like this everywhere I go. And totally pointless, really, because my nickname is turned out to be Gassy Gordon anyway. Slightly different reason. So I think that went okay. I managed to get everybody's attention, like a boss. Right then! Hello. Cool. Sorry, I know I'm British and too polite to get your full attention. Don't know. Everything I said made perfect sense. This is all going to make sense in a minute, I promise. I didn't vent about my hatred of non-dairy creamer. Much. The only thing I have an issue with, which I discovered today, is non-dairy creamer. is this? Like, I just made a cup of tea before I came down, and it's like, I didn't even know what to do with it. And I can feel my ancestors howling when I put that in my tea. So, and I managed not to say or ah once. So yeah. Yep, not even once. But hopefully everyone got something out of it. This workshop is actually on my website in text format. I will put a link down below. I may also put the whole thing online. I just need to double check with the organisers and make sure that I take out all of my ums and ahs, which weren't actually in there. So I was going to film my second workshop too, but I forgot to put the memory card in the camera. So sorry about that, and it actually went much better. There were categorically fewer ums and ahs. There were still some, but not quite as many. But it's been a wonderful, wonderful few days here in Utah. I've made so many great friends here. Last time I was here and this time, an amazing bunch of people here. I'd like to say a huge thank you to everyone in the League of Utah Writers for making me feel so welcome. An even huger thank you to Emily and to Tim for arranging the whole thing and for inviting me back. Anytime you want me to come again, I will be right here. I absolutely love it. So now, Vegas.
How lucky can one guy be? I kissed her and she kissed me. Like the fella once said, ain't that a kick in the head? The room was completely black. I hugged her and she hugged back. Like the sailor said, quote, ain't that a hole in a boat?
So here I am in Las Vegas. Las Vegas! And as you can tell by my sweaty face, it is hot. But it's okay, because I have a hat. And I was lucky enough in Vegas to be able to do quite a few events as well. A few school events and a book launch. And they went a little something like this. Hello! That's really loud. Does anyone here think maybe you don't want to be a writer because you've got an image in your head of a writer as a bit of a sad, lonely, crusty individual who sits in a dark room, no friends, just a cat, writing things like, oh, it's as flowery as a flower. Yeah, there's quite a few hands and quite a few people nodding. Okay. I'm going to do my best to convince you that being a writer is nothing like that. Being a writer is nothing like that. Obviously there are writers out there who sit in dark rooms, who talk to their cats. And yeah, I do talk to my cats, and that's not the point. There are a lot of writers out there who do sit in dark rooms, who don't have big friends, who just write kind of boring books. But writing doesn't have to be that. Okay, at its heart, writing is about going out into the world, having adventures, traveling the world, seeing things, doing things, meeting people, doing things that you would never normally get the chance to do, and then bringing those experiences back into your writing. Plus, there was a little bit of this. No, it's a scary book! No! Oh look! She's eating his eyeballs! Oh, okay! Zombie! This house is gonna eat us! They've got Nigel! You can have him! You can have Nigel! Just let me go! Almost pooed herself. All he had time to do was... He didn't have time to turn around. He didn't even have time to close his mouth. You're not shooting any more coop hats! It was a real pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much. And at one point, things got so intense that the fire alarm went off. So I went home and I spent, all week working on The book launch was in Barnes & Noble, Las Vegas, Thank you so much, Crystal, for letting me have a launch inside your shop. And thanks so much, Molly at Macmillan, for organising it and helping to organise it. It was an amazing night. I had a fantastic time. Really cool to be here, and I am very honoured. And thank you, Crystal, for arranging this, because it is awesome to be here and great to celebrate books and being in Las Vegas. Book launch in Las Vegas has to be on the bucket list. Because we're here for the Fury and paperback, yay! Which has just come out in the last couple of weeks. This is fantastic. Fury, as you know, is a nice, gentle, relaxing, romantic comedy. Obviously, you found it in the romance department, yeah.
Yeah, and all the bubble bath. It's all good.
Yeah. No, obviously it's a gruesome story about what would happen if every single person in the world tried to kill you, and only you. It's like a zombie story where the thing that turns people into zombies is being near you. I've always wanted to write a zombie story, and I could never think of my own take on it. I couldn't think of why there would be zombies. You know, the chemical thing's been done, the possession thing's been done. I wanted to do something different. So when I was at school, I was very, very out of shape. You know, every single year at school, I was in the C group for PE. Now, which would have been fine because all of my friends were in the same group, and we would have had a really nice time just not being very good at PE, except we had the world's most evil PE teacher. His idea of fun was to make us play a game called Murderball. Now, the rules of Murderball were very, very simple. One person in the group would be given a rugby ball and a head start. And this would be out in the field in the middle of winter, so you'd be given a rugby ball and a head start. Once your head start had expired, every single person in the class had to get the ball from you. So very, very simple, very, very simple. Except it never went like that. What would happen is you'd be out in the field, you'd be shivering, you'd be waiting for the whistle, you'd hear the whistle go. The first thing you did is you threw the ball away because your ball would only slow you down and nobody cared about the ball, and you would start to run. And the thing is, you never knew how long your head start was going to be. Sometimes it was 5 seconds, sometimes it was 10 seconds, sometimes it was a second. So you'd be running across the field as fast as you could go, which for me, sadly, was never very fast. And then, sooner or later, you would hear the second whistle go, and the ground would start to shake, and you would hear this howl rise up behind you. And if you ever looked back, and the first rule of being chased is never look back, but if you looked back, you would see basically like 30 people tearing across the school field after you with expressions a bit like this. Absolutely terrifying. They looked like demons, and I vividly remember that. Now, I could never outrun them. Nobody could outrun the pack because somebody could either run for longer than you or faster than you. So nobody could outrun them. Sooner or later, you'd be on the floor with 30 people on top of you, punching you, kicking you, biting you. You always have bite marks after Murderball. Nobody ever knew who did it. And the worst thing is that people would get great big clods of mud, and they would pull them out of the ground and they would put them in your mouth and up your nose. So you just couldn't breathe.
PE was bad here.
But yeah, so you would be lying on the floor, and 30 people on top of you. You wouldn't be able to breathe. Your eyesight would be flickering. Your lungs would be exploding. And every single week we played this, I'd be like, "Yep, thanks, life. This is really how I wanted to die." And so luckily, nobody ever did die playing Murderball, but I'm sure it came close a few times. So ever since then, I've had a bit of a fear of big crowds, and being chased by a lot of people. And so again, all I did to come up with an idea for a book was I added those two magic words of writing. What if? What if one day everyone did come after me? And it wasn't, when I was at school, everyone did come after you. They weren't playing a game. It wasn't for a joke. They just wanted to kill me. And that is where the idea for the Fury came from.
The logistical side of some of it, so that we've got what we're going to need. I mean, mine's all intense.
And it's true. And a huge thanks to O'Donna and Lynn as well for letting me visit your school and speak to your pupils. It was fantastic. And one of the reasons I really wanted to go to Vegas is because it was within driving distance of the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon is one of those places I've always wanted to visit. So I'm about to go on my first ever helicopter trip. I'm bricking it. All I can say is I'm glad they have a gift shop here because I need new underwear. Here I am, and it doesn't disappoint. It's a canyon, and it's pretty grand. But I don't know why it's not called amazing, mega, huge, mega, amazing, awesome, mega awesome. Really, really, really grand canyon. So apparently I am afraid of heights. I never knew that until today, but this is absolutely terrifying. I am properly shaking. That is really high. And like people are right on the edge. Like, you have to be crazy. Don't do that. No. Oh, I can't even watch them doing it. It makes me scared. Beautiful though. And other than that, I really just kind of walked around exploring Las Vegas. It is a weird place, the Strip, but pretty amazing. Although it's full of kind of scary things like volcanoes, sharks, insane rides, sexy pirates. Wait, how did that picture get in? But Vegas was probably a little bit too much for me, so most of the time I actually either sat in my room and wrote, because that's kind of what writers do, or just watched the telly.
It's sort of specialized, you know.
Oh, Rick, stop being so stingy. I know, I am a party animal. So all in all, it was a fantastic trip. I had an amazing time out there in America. I love you guys over there. You always make me feel so welcome. What can I say? Thank you so much to everyone who came along to see one of my events, who was at one of the schools I went to. I love you guys, and I'll be back soon. Thank you.